Hello, welcome back to another episode of Unlicensed Therapy with me, your host, Ari Mannis. We're in my living room today. I didn't want to record at the studio. I know I didn't put an episode out for 2 weeks. I apologize. The first episode we missed because I left on the road. And the second one we missed because I was burnt out. Maybe from the road, maybe from the podcast. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses, but if anyone out there wants to help me book guests or edit clips, come in and produce, I could use a little bit of help. That's all I'm saying. But you guys are great. And today we have a great episode with Bruce Gray. If you're not familiar with him, he's a friend of mine. He's a door guy. He's a nice guy. He opened for Theo and I once in Las Vegas. He's great. I don't know what else to tell you. He's a good dude, so give him a follow and enjoy the episode. Before we get into the episode, I'm going to read the reviews on Apple Podcasts for the week. This is a review from Summer Hazel via Apple Podcast. Weekly favorite podcast, 5 stars. Even though Ari has a bag of dicks attitude at times, and he doesn't enjoy the thick ladies and owns a snake, I still find myself waiting for the weekly episodes to be released. One of my favorite funny a-holes. Thank you. I think there was some compliments in there. Papa Pocenzo via Apple Podcast. Probably the best podcast in history. 5 stars. Ari is a G. Everything about him is gangster. Don't even think about not listening to this podcast because he'll break your frickin' legs. Thank you. That is a nice review. And then this was left a week later from Anastasia 72720. Funny is as funny does. 5 stars. This podcast is quite good. I listen to it on the road, at the gym, or while studying. Gives a funny perspective on other people's problems so I don't have to think of my own. Thank you guys for the kind reviews. That actually might be my favorite part of the week is to read the reviews. So if you want to leave a review, go on Apple Podcasts, leave it, and I will read them at the beginning of each episode if they are positive and 5 stars. I'm not reading no negative shit on here. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy the episode with Bruce Gray.
I'm pretty sure that you have a way harder time getting through life than the average person, Ari. I don't know why anybody would listen to this. I know I won't.
Ari, your advice single-handedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
Unlicensed
Therapy with Ari Mannis.
I was trying to remember what we talked about. I don't remember. I feel like it was like 3 hours long for something.
I have no recollection of it.
Yeah.
Were we friends when we did it?
Yeah.
We were?
Yeah. How long have you been doing the podcast?
I've been doing it for years, but I've only done it consistently since I think about that time.
Yeah. We've been friends for 15 years.
We've been friends longer than I guess I thought.
Are we on the podcast?
We're recording.
Are we?
Yeah. Do
But-
people...
Are you going to keep this part?
I don't know. I never know. It's all up to the editors.
Just whatever happens?
It's all up to the editors.
The editors, the team of people. There's
is
like
me.
4 or 5 people behind
Which
the
is
camera.
me.
Right
Although
now.
I've had 2 episodes edited by Sebastian.
Maniscalco?
No, I don't know how to say his last name. The guy who works here.
It'd be pretty cool
Melrose.
if Sebastian Maniscalco was editing it for you.
Would it be cool? How much do you think it would take money-wise to get Sebastian Maniscalco to edit for me?
I think it would have to be a passion project for him. Like he really got into like
You don't think he
Premiere.
would do it if I was like, hey, I'll pay you $50,000 to do this? It'll probably take you 3 hours.
Maybe, but I think he would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think it would have to be a thing where he's like the way that some people like have the way that Tom Papa likes to bake bread. Like if Sebastian for some reason got really into editing.
Yeah. He still probably would not want to edit my podcast of all things.
No, he'd probably make his own
Still
cut.
have to be $50,000.
He'd make his own cut of The Godfather the way that he wants it to be. So he would cut it up a little bit.
Have you talked to him off in life?
No. Have you?
Very briefly.
Yeah. He's always pretty in and out at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, he doesn't make a whole lot of chit chat.
No, which is pretty cool. I like that.
I caught him once in a talking mood in the manager's office.
Damn, yeah.
I think he was excited about a project or something.
One time I was in the manager's office and Charles Fleischer came in there.
Oh, yeah.
And he was looking for Adam.
To get spots.
Yeah, I was, because he came in and I was like, oh, cool. What's up, man? How's it going? I was like, yo, you're in the main room. And he's like, yeah. I was like, how was he? He's like, basically, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he alluded to the fact that he killed. And he was like, yeah, is Adam around here? And I was like, oh, shit, dude, I don't know. Because that immediately shows what is going on a little bit.
You know what's crazy about Charles Fleischer? You mean he was in a big movie, right? What was it? The Roger Rabbit movie? Mm-hmm. So he was
Actually, that's a
big.
huge movie.
Huge
and he's
movie.
the star. He's a rabbit.
He was
a
a star. I saw him once at the Hollywood Improv getting a standing ovation.
I've heard he
I didn't know
kills.
who he was. He murdered. Can't get spots because he's just old.
Just because he's old?
Yeah, I think he's old and no one really knows who he is anymore. Who goes to these comedy shows?
Yeah.
Like the audience that goes to Comedy Store probably wouldn't know who Charles Fleischer was. If they did, it would be like, I think I've heard of him.
Yeah. How scary. Does that scare you?
I mean,
Getting phased out?
It doesn't matter because I'm not phased in.
You're right, yeah.
So
yeah, I guess you have to worry about
you can fear about that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Me and Charles Fleischer have the same goal to get in.
I guess I'm way too far ahead in my thought that I'm like, oh shit, what if I get phased out? I guess I got to get phased in first.
Yeah.
Dude, I just talking about Sebastian. One time, my girlfriend woke me up because I was sleep talking, but I was doing an impression of Sebastian in my dream, and he was talking about my family, and he was talking about my aunt. And he goes, oh, yeah, her, the lesbian. And by her, I mean me. That was
your aunt lesbian?
Yeah. Wow. Legendary lesbian.
Do you remember the dream?
No. I remember me
She
doing
just told you about it?
Yeah, I woke up like
Do
mid-impression.
you think she could have made it up? Because she, Kelly likes to
fuck around.
fib a little bit.
You think she's a liar?
Fibber.
You're saying fib?
Fibber, not
Dude,
a liar.
I'm going to destroy this whole set if you say my girlfriend's a liar. Do you
Not
think
a liar, fibber.
Do you think
like
that
she
would,
might come back from the road and be like, no, of course I didn't talk to any other guys.
You think that's just a little fib?
I was with her on the road once.
Was she talking to other guys?
We hung out the whole time, me and her.
But in a way of like you were doing me a favor of like making sure that she wasn't talking to other guys.
There were no guys there. There was no one for either of us to talk to.
There wasn't even an
We
option.
were the only one under 60 years old
Yeah.
in the casino.
Yeah,
only one.
I've been at that casino.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, the
not a
shows.
fun place.
The buffet is very good.
Oh, did you host those shows once?
Yeah.
Or feature or whatever?
Yeah. No, I worked the door because I was trying to get phased into the Fantasy Springs Improv.
I do those shows all day. They pay pretty good.
Yeah, you hang out. It's that one specifically. Those casino shows a lot of times just feel like a cruise ship on land.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of fun,
But more fun than a cruise ship, I think.
Well, cruise ship, I think you feel trapped.
Or no, cruise ships are more fun, but the shows are more fun there because you could say whatever you want. You're not trapped in the room or on the boat with the audience.
Have you done a cruise ship?
I have done recently. It wasn't a cruise ship, but it was a boat on the bay. Does that make sense?
How is that?
So it's in San Francisco, and they take you around the harbor for a few hours. And
That's
there's a
normal,
show
though.
on it.
Where you're not like, well, did the show end like at an appropriate time, or did the show end and then you were kind of stuck with the people?
You're stuck on the boat with the people. Luckily, the shows are fun. Like,
Okay.
but if I had bombed, it would have been. I would have like hid in the bathroom or something.
Yeah. Well, even whenever I do really good, I don't really like to talk to the audience. I don't.
Really?
I don't have a great time talking.
I
to
was
the
with
audience.
you once in Vegas, and you loved it. You loved getting adulations. You're like, follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. You were passing out brochures and pamphlets.
Maybe it's a little different where that's a better opportunity, and there's a lot of people. So if there's a lot of people, you're not going to get stuck in.
You're saying you don't like hanging out after bad shows.
Yeah, maybe.
You're like embarrassed that you did that bad show, and you just want to leave.
Maybe, yeah.
Do
Or
you-
even if I do good, I don't really love to I liked it the quick. Well, that one was easy because there were so many people, so it was like, oh, cool, hey, thanks, here's this, here's that. Like there wasn't too much there was no time for them to stick around because they had to keep it moving.
I only like hanging out if I do really good.
Yeah,
If I have a whatever set, I go and hide
yeah. Have you ever hung out?
after a bad set.
No, I was thinking because you've never done good.
Oh.
You've never had a good set, so you have to always leave.
Most of the time I leave,
Yeah.
but every 1 out of 10, maybe I'll be like,
Did you hang out last night?
No. I mean, I did with you. I was with you, but I didn't hang out. I didn't wait for the audience to get out.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't have even if I had done really good on that show because it was just an audience full of couples.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
If I'm hanging out, I want there to be a 1% chance of meeting my wife.
Meeting your wife, or just like a really cool guy who like has good stories.
I don't care at all about meeting cool guys.
Not in like a romantic way, but in a way of like
Even,
a dude.
in any way, I don't want to meet a cool guy.
Even if a dude has like the sickest story ever,
Dude,
about how he like climbed on Mount Everest.
I think
and
Aziz Ansari had a joke back in the day about how like guys just invite them back to his dorm room to play video games, and I can so relate to that now.
Yeah, but you don't really drink that much though.
No, I don't drink.
So whenever,
Yeah, if I partied and drank,
so
it'd be
that's I'm
different.
actually kind of lying because I'll entertain somebody for like a good 5 minutes because they like have trapped me with buying a drink.
You don't. I don't. Do you drink a lot? You don't.
Not a lot, but I do
More
like
than
to
me.
drink. Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have a drinking problem. I've never seen you blackout drunk at the Comedy Store.
No, the only time I think I've ever been blackout drunk at the Comedy Store was the Christmas party.
Oh yeah, people like to rage.
Yeah.
It goes down on
But
Christmas.
you know
at
why
the
it's
store.
fun? It really does, dude.
Yeah.
But you know what's fun is like, because in whenever I was in Portland, the like last whatever, it's like there was a few times where it was like parties going on, and I got fucking wasted, like blackout, verge of blackout. But also everybody else was. So then it's like, oh, cool, I wasn't like an ass last night, and even if I was, everybody else is worried about their own shit because they were also an ass.
Yeah, I feel like as long as you do it once a year, it's fun to make an ass out of yourself. If
Yeah.
you're doing it once a week, then people are like, oh, that guy's got issues.
Yeah, I think the only time I've made an ass out of myself in the last year, not even like made an ass out of myself. Well, on my girlfriend's birthday, I got us all in trouble at the casino because I was too drunk. And
What
so
casino is this?
a casino outside of Portland.
Was she mad at you?
No, because everybody else was drunk. I didn't even get us in trouble. I just got our whole group cut off because I won a bunch of money, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy." This casino was also okay. A casino is like a place of debauchery in my mind, and this casino was like, you couldn't get drinks at the table, and you couldn't smoke inside. Like you couldn't. And
There's casinos like that now that are trying to just appeal to a classier crowd.
It's like this casino. I was like trying to buy like shot. There was like 15 of us, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" Like I was like 15 shots, line them up like for everybody. And the lady was getting like pissed off and was like, "Well, for who?" And I was like, for everybody right here. And then she like, at one point she was like, "This is a casino," and I was like, in my head, I was like, "Yeah, you ruin people's
Exactly.
You
It's a
ruin people's
casino.
lives every day. Like people are losing their
You
shit."
should want us to get drunk and spend
Yeah.
our money.
And that's what I was trying to do. I was begging her to let me fucking.
Was she Native American?
No, Native Americans don't work at the casino.
There's some.
Maybe like.
Yeah, if you go to a legit one, they're out there. They're working the door. They're security.
How do you know they're Native American? Do they
You
have
can
the,
look
the
at
full
the
thing?
color of their skin.
It's like a
It's like a
amber?
Native American. Yeah, it's like olive.
Do you ask?
Beautiful. They're
Do you
beautiful
ever ask?
people.
Are
Yeah,
you Native?
I will. Yeah.
What do they say?
Actually, at the casino in India, the
In
lady,
India?
Indio.
Oh,
the,
they say
the one
casino
that
in India. I
your
was saying, those are
girlfriend and I
different-
spent the weekend
Those
together.
are different kind of Indians. If you're
Indio, California. There was a lady who worked the door, and she's worked there for years. I've seen her since I've been doing that show. And I said to her, "Hey, are you Native American?" She goes, "Yeah."
damn.
She
I always
was
thought
sweet.
I was Native American.
I mean,
'cause-
she's American.
yeah, but she's OG American.
Yeah,
she's
she
been
wasn't,
American for a long time.
Yeah, she wasn't here like when we settled.
Are you sure?
She came after the settlement.
Should have asked
After
her.
we murdered most of her tribe.
Do you?
And when I say we, I mean previous Americans, not me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always thought that I was Native American because my dad said that we were, but I think that's what's happened with 23andMe is that a lot of people realize that their parents are liars because then I found out that I'm like pretty much all the way British.
That's what I took 23andMe, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be a mix. It's 2021. Everyone's got something in there. I was just 99.8% Jewish.
Yeah. Do you think
Very
that
boring.
Jewish is a race? This is an
According to
argument.
23andMe, it is.
It said Jewish
It said Ashkenazi Jew. Yeah.
Okay.
European Jew.
because I got into. We were getting into.
How would
this-
it know that if it wasn't a race, right? I
Well,
didn't
yeah.
tell them I was Jewish.
Well, we got into this
Your
argument the
names
other
are-
day of like whether I was saying yes, like whether you can be
Knew that from my spit.
ethnically Jewish.
All I sent them was a tube of my spit, and it said, "You're Jewish." So that's not race.
What do you
I
think
don't
would
know.
happen if you sent in cum instead? Do you think that they would know off the bat?
That'd be a funny little TikTok series. I sent in cum to 23
I
and
sent
me,
in cum.
and this is
Yeah.
what I got back, like the
It
robot
says,
thing.
yeah, it says you're gay. It just says you're 100% cum, and that's your blood.
It's funny because you would totally be able to play dumb too.
And be like, oh.
I assumed you wanted my cum to
Yeah.
see my race. So how could you do it from spit?
We should
Cum makes more sense when you think about it.
we should order a bunch of them. 23
But the problem is this would be like several $100s of prank.
I know.
Yeah.
But you got it. So we got, I mean,
I do.
dude, come
I
on.
could afford to do it. It would just be like,
Hey,
would it be worth it?
If you're listening and you want me and Ari to send in a few samples, we're going to do one blood, one cum, one.
A piece of, what if you send in a finger? Like a severed
or like your
finger?
fingernails, or like we'll do one that's poop, and then one that's like throw up, and like we could do a bunch of them.
We're basically at $1,000 of prank.
Yeah,
here.
and I think that's worth it.
First, you'd have to test it with the cum one and see the results, and then if it was a hit, then you do the rest of them.
If you did the cum one and you got a million views on,
you know what we could do? We could just lie and say we did this for a TikTok video.
yeah, I sent in cum.
Yeah, and then just Photoshop the result.
Yeah, and just says you're 100% gay.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it would say. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
literally, you're 100% cum. Yeah, I was pissed off about my answers.
That you're just British?
Yeah, because I've talked a lot of shit in my life. I've considered myself a pretty patriotic guy, and I have British friends. And
Yeah, but isn't British the most American you could be? Because
yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, Native American.
besides Native American.
Yeah.
But no, that's not American. That's Native American. American is a British.
I like to
settler.
think that I was like the good guy. I haven't even thought about this. I like to think that I'm like colonial British, not like fucking. It's still I gave.
Were there slaves in your lineage? Did any of your family own slaves?
I didn't look up that far. Have you?
Oh no, I'm a third generation. My family wasn't even here when there were slaves.
Where were they?
Russia.
Judea?
Judea.
They were in Russia? Oh, Ashkenazi is Russian, right?
Ashkenazi is European Jew. So that's
So it didn't
basically-
say Russian, it just said Jew.
It didn't say Russian.
I just said you're a Jew on your thing.
Yeah. It just said Ashkenazi Jew.
Were you bummed out? Do you feel like you wasted money?
I don't feel like I wasted money because I always thought I was a mix of things.
So now you know.
And now I know I'm not a mix.
Yeah.
I'm just pure blood.
I'm also a little bit Welsh, and some people made fun of me because they said that, oh, you're from Wales, as like a fat joke, and I didn't take kindly to that. I thought that was very mean.
Today's episode is brought to you by Talkspace. I've been using Talkspace last few months, and it's great. It has helped me really feel better about me, myself, my life. If you're not familiar with Talkspace, which I'm sure you have because they've been on the show before, that is real licensed therapy. Not me, not unlicensed therapy, Ari. Talk to a trained professional, not your friends, not your family, someone on the outside who knows what they are doing. You can send and receive unlimited messages with your dedicated therapist in this app. You can schedule live video sessions with your licensed therapist from anywhere in the world, whether that's for you, whether that's couples therapy. It has helped me a lot, and I know it will help you guys a lot. It is tough right now with everything going on in the world, getting back out there, talking to more people. Start feeling better with a single message. Match with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com and get $100 off your first month with the promo code ARI. That's ARI. That's $100 off when you use code ARI, ARI, at Talkspace.com. Check them out, Talkspace.com. It's a good service, and it's helped me really understand the things that I need to work on, and I know it can do the same for you. I was going to ask you if you get tired of people comparing you to maybe Tim Dillon and Chris Farley.
I think I mean they're both very funny.
They're hilarious.
I think
But do you ever feel like you want to be your own guy and you're not? Because a lot of people say, oh, Bruce, he's like Chris Farley.
yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things that I probably am numb to it now where I don't even think about it. Does that make sense?
Because you get it so much?
Yeah, because I've gotten it like a bunch. But I think there's more people who are like, because I'm not like as animated, I don't think. But I kind of am, maybe.
I also didn't know you got that. I was saying it to be mean.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I got that.
You do?
Yeah. That's like me being like, are you tired of people saying that you're like comparing you to like the devil?
I've never gotten that.
Really? Because nobody's ever said that to you? You're like,
Jews
yeah.
don't believe in hell.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Jews
Have
don't
you
believe in the
ever
devil.
thought about how I thought about this a lot? Is that at the end of the day, it seems like the God and the devil are like they kind of work for the same company because the God is
They have to, right?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like they're on the same payroll because God is like, everyone's like, oh, if you're bad, you're going to go to the devil. And then like, if people are bad, God's going to send you to hell. And then like the devil's doing like the work down there and like fucking you in the ass and stuff.
Do you know a lot about religion?
No.
Because if it also doesn't make sense to me if God's all powerful.
Why doesn't he just make you be good on purpose?
Or get rid of hell? Get rid of the devil.
I think you have to have hell for like
to make people want to be good.
But yeah, it's like at the end of the day, there's going to be bad people. It's like you can't get like the same thing where people are like you have to get rid of prisons. Like you can't do that because some people are just bad all around.
Who's the worst person you've ever met?
The worst person I've ever met.
Do you have someone in mind or no? And is this and when you think, yeah, let me know if you have someone.
The
in mind.
worst person I've ever met,
or that you know.
I don't know.
I
know people who have killed people, but
yeah, murders.
But
you still know.
Well, they're in jail. I don't keep.
But you knew them.
Yeah.
Who? Tell me about you. Multiple. You know, multiple murders.
Yeah.
How many? 2?
There's at least 2.
At least 2. Were they friends with each other?
Dude, my
why do you know 2 murders?
I'm from Bakersfield. People kill each other all the time for nothing.
So
Not like in like a cool like gang way. They're just like dumb.
Do the 2 you know each other? Like, was it a group?
No, they
crime?
don't know each other.
You went to high school with them? Who are they?
I went to high school with one of them, middle school with the other. But dude, my sister's. I wish if we had a fucking producer in here, but this lady, Leslie Chance, she was my sister's 4th grade. She was my cousin's 4th grade teacher. She worked at the same school. My mom worked at my elementary school, and my sister was best friends with her daughter. This lady fucking whacked her husband because I don't know. I think he was like cheating on her and was trying to like leave her for another lady, and they had a bunch of debt. And so then
So the wife killed her husband?
The wife killed her husband
because he was a cheating scumbag.
I think he was cheating and like
trying was going to leave her with debt.
But I think so, and I think they had a lot of debt, and she was trying to get the life insurance shit. So she whacked his ass.
He was a financial.
Yeah, she just went to jail like I think forever.
Yeah.
This other kid I know, like it's all drug shit usually.
Was she on drugs?
No, I think she was just fucking wacko.
Yeah.
There's like a good Dateline thing about it.
What do you think about what's the Bandito girl? What's her name?
Gabby Petito.
Yeah, Gabby Petito.
I think she's pretty.
She really cute.
Pretty. Yeah. She's not.
When I first saw it, I was like, damn, like, and she lives in a van, which I'm building a van.
I think you're a good guy to talk to. Do you think this is a bad look for the van life people? Because if they're killing each other.
I think it is, but it's definitely not a good look. It's a bad look, but there's thousands and thousands of van life people, and this happened one time. So it's kind of, you could find a bad egg in any community.
Do you
whatsoever.
think it's like all press is good press? Because now people are like, oh shit, you could live in a van? In like a cool way?
No, I think it's bad. I think it'll be bad press for the van community. But I initially thought to myself, Gabby Petito, what's her name?
Petito.
Gabby Petito looks so beautiful.
Yeah. How could he? Would you have? You would have loved her and been nice to her.
I would have loved her and been nice to her.
And you would not have killed her.
It looked like the dream life. They're like 24. I was like,
I thought the van was just okay. It was a Ford. Like pretty small.
Or was it a ProMaster? I thought it was a ProMaster.
It wasn't it was a Ford. It wasn't a super nice van.
It was all right. Yeah. It was fine. I mean, they were 24. It was 2 poor young 20s living in a van. It was fine.
Yeah.
No, it was an all right van.
You would definitely not have killed her.
I'd like to think that I would not kill anyone.
And that you would have been very nice to her.
But to play devil's advocate, and luckily no one listens to this, so I can't get in trouble. But I watched today a clip this morning. I was surfing through Instagram Reels. There was a clip of, did you see it? The body cam footage. They got pulled over by cops.
Yeah, dude. But that I think that shit's tripping. I think she was.
What do you mean tripping? That's a real video.
It's a real video. But
I
think she was covering for her that guy. I think that guy's a real scumbag. Obviously, he killed her.
He definitely. There's a lot of things against him. I'm not saying he's innocent by any means.
But like how she's like
that video makes her look very odd as well. Like there's more to this story. Obviously it seems like killed her, or why would he be hiding? If he didn't kill her, the fact is, if he didn't kill her, they would have found him by now.
If he didn't kill her?
If he didn't kill her.
Oh, if he didn't kill her, he would have came forward and be like, look, I didn't do this shit.
He would have came forward. So he did kill her, but in that video, what did he say? He goes, oh, I had to push her off of me because she was attacking me.
Wait, did you hear about the 911 call that led to that video? The person who called 911.
It wasn't either of them. It was someone else.
Who called 911.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah, this guy is like smacking his girlfriend around in the fucking parking lot of this store.
Damn.
And the thing, I just think he's a psycho, and he's like,
anger issues.
Dudes can do that shit. Like, well, he's like also, I don't know if he like has some shit going on. He's like has some dark shit going on. Obviously, he fucking killed her, but it's like he, like just like other people. I think it's just like a classic, because if you've ever been around these kind of people that have a fucking awful relationship where it's like she's like, oh, this guy cares about me and I have to
It's very
whatever. I have to cover for him. Like, oh, now we're in big trouble, so I have to make sure this goes great. Because if
very
not,
high highs, very low lows.
yeah. Well, she's not gonna be like, oh, he did this. She's like, oh no, we're madly in love. Because then he's like, oh,
she's not gonna send him to jail.
No, because she's gonna fucking smack her around.
It's just weird. I mean, you want, first of all, it makes all men look bad when a man kills his girlfriend.
Yeah,
and then also, it's also weird because he's this hippie van life guy who's into nature
dark,
and lives in nature. So you want him to be a nice guy, but
I think he's got something going on.
I'm curious to see how it unfolds. Obviously, because I think they're gonna find him eventually.
I think he could probably kill himself by now. I think
I
think it's gonna be a bummer, and I think it's gonna be like he already killed himself, and we're not gonna get any closure to it. Because I want them to find him, and then they have like a trial, like not like a boring trial, but like like a like big
I don't
time.
think he's gonna kill himself. He seems like too selfish. Lives in a van with this girl, killed her.
I think he's gonna kill himself. I would be willing to bet $100 that
he killed himself.
That he kills
I'll
himself.
take that bet.
I don't know if I'm gonna bet. I'll bet. How about this? If he kills himself, you give me $100. And if he doesn't,
but I don't think he's gonna kill himself.
I know.
So I'd want the $100 if he doesn't kill himself.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. What if he kills again? Then we both squash the bet.
You kill once. Why wouldn't you kill again?
Do you think
But here's the thing.
How
He
have they not
probably
found
did
him
it
by now?
in a fit of rage, and is probably really scared right now, and regrets his actions.
Well, his parents are also shitbags.
Are they?
Well, they like hit him. They were like, we're not. He came home from the thing and was like, we're not talking to nobody about nothing. And his parents were like, yeah. And like,
I don't think that makes them shitbags. That makes them good parents. Think about it. If a good parent loves their son more than anyone, right?
yeah. But
If you
also,
came home,
like,
think about this. If you went back to your parents right now and was like, Mom, Dad, this is what happened. I fucked up in self. He could have lied. He could have been like in self-defense. I killed my girlfriend. Whatever
my
he
parents
said.
would sell me out so fast.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like my parents might protect me. They might be like, don't talk to anyone. We're getting a lawyer right now.
Well, you guys are Jewish, so you got shit going on like that. My parents don't know lawyers.
I don't have any shit going on like that.
What's the shit going on where like, your parents really like, lawyers. I don't know lawyers.
My mom's a lawyer.
Yeah. And your
Yeah.
dad's a doctor. She would probably fucking put her back
The
together.
point is, I think a lot of moms and dads.
Would you let your mom represent you?
She's not that kind of lawyer. She's not a criminal defense
Would you like
lawyer.
Kevin Farr to represent you?
Yeah. I guess it depends on if I had a good chance of getting off or not. You know what I mean? If it
No,
was
dude,
kinda
I think that he fucking probably like blacked out in the middle of something and like,
in a fit of rage.
dude, maybe honestly it might have even been an accident. He might have like,
If it was an accident, he would have came forward.
well, dude, how are you going to say it's like you can't prove it's
Especially
not,
by now.
well, dude, maybe it was something like kind of the same thing they were going through where he's a piece of shit, but he probably was like did something to her. She went back to do something to him. And so then he like maybe shoved her really hard and she fell down and like hit a rock or something.
It could have been, but
Because that shit happens all the time, dude. In like bar fights,
Yeah, accidental murders.
People get punched in the face and then they knock out and then they smack their head and fucking die.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest fear.
Totally. And especially with like a fragile 24-year-old,
Yeah, she's a small woman.
Beautiful woman who I would have loved.
You think it makes guys look bad whenever they do this, or do you think it makes us look
course.
like good guys look better because it's like, oh, he would never kill me?
No, it looks bad.
I think it should
makes
be the
all men
opposite.
look
I think
bad.
it should be like, oh, Bruce is a good guy because he would never kill me.
Yeah, but instead it makes him think, oh, that could be Bruce one day.
I would never. Would you? I don't think. Could you? Do you think you could kill somebody?
Not.
It would have to be self-defense.
Yeah, it would have to be self-defense. Yeah,
Yeah,
not just out of rage or anything. When I get very angry, I'm like silent and
That's
fuming.
even scarier.
I'm not like, fuck you, I'm not that kind of angry guy. I feel like that kind of angry guy gets violent.
Of course.
Yeah.
What was the last thing that you got really angry about?
I can't remember.
Mine was
now.
today
Oh.
when I was having trouble with the TV mount.
I thought you said it was easy.
It is easy, but I fucked up and I didn't have the right drill bit. I had to go buy it.
I get angry with things like that, but Yeah, see, so some guys get angry and would like slam the TV to the floor. I would never do that.
If I was rich, I probably
The same guy that would slam a TV out of anger to the floor is the same type of guy that would kill Gabby Petito.
But isn't it different if you had the money to have disposable TVs around, you wouldn't slam the TV? Mm-mm. I would do a lot. I not even in rage, but I would fuck around a lot if I had a lot of money. I would crash a car.
You still could, even if you don't have a lot of money. I mean, TVs are $200 now. They sell nice wine glasses at the dollar store, and I don't smash wine glasses when I'm mad.
No, you're right, actually, because like plates and shit are expensive, and like yeah, people do have big fights like that. Have you ever fought with a girl like that, where like she starts breaking stuff?
Once, yeah.
Were you breaking stuff?
But she would no. I've never. See, that's the thing. I don't get that kind of angry. She was breaking stuff, but luckily she was.
In
not
this case, you're Gabby Petito.
No, she wasn't throwing them at my head or anything. She never got violent towards me, luckily.
You never had a girl punch you?
One time in college, there's the girl who broke my heart really bad.
Damn. Did she punch you first? Is that what broke your heart?
Well, so we got in an argument. I said to her, because this is bad, but I like to think I've come to find out that I would never hit a woman, period.
Of course.
But in my head, I used to think
you should visualize.
If a girl hits me, I should be allowed to hit her back.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but it's not realistic.
It's fair. I agree. It's fair. So I want to believe that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I'm one. So I was saying that to this girl, the girl I loved. I was saying, if you hit me, I'll hit you back.
And this is in the middle of a fight.
No, this was like caused the fight. And she goes, you can't hit a girl. You're so much stronger than girls. You can't hit a girl. And I was like, well, then don't hit me, because if you hit me, then I'm in my mind, I'm allowed to hit you back, and I'll hit you back. And I said it.
And she hit you.
And then she hit me.
Like punch?
Like slapped me in the face.
Hard?
It didn't cause me real pain, but like it was in a fight. It was hard enough to like.
It was her bubbling up, not like her testing.
It hurt me emotionally that she would hit me.
Is that what broke your heart? Is that she hit you?
No, we ended up breaking up later. But in the moment, I was really hurt that she just was willing to hit me.
Did you cry?
To prove a point. I think I did.
Damn.
I did.
Do you cry a lot?
Anyway, I don't know why I said I think I did. I remember.
Did you try to cover up for yourself, but you can't do it?
I cried in the car.
By yourself?
I went down to the car and cried in the car by myself.
Damn. Did you go back up?
She came down.
Did you make her get in the back?
The car.
Because you didn't want her to look at you face on.
She came down. She apologized. We had like really good makeup sex.
Really?
I had love. Now she's married or engaged or married.
Did she in the middle of making up? Was she like, you can hit me? I think the only way. Well, I got punched by a girl that I was arguing with, a girl that I was dating, and it was in the dark, kind of like we were. I think the TV was on, so it was like kind of like dark, but like a little bit of a glow. And she fucking rocked me. And girls have little bony hands. Usually.
Wait, you were arguing?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the argument was about?
No.
Okay, so you were just fighting. You don't even remember what it was about.
Yeah.
And then she sucker punched you, like full on closed hand.
She sucker punched me. Yeah.
Closed hand, just punched you in the face.
She rocked me because I wasn't expecting it at all.
How long were you going out with her for?
This is our first date. Okay. This is maybe like a few months.
So did you stay with her after that experience?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole toxic thing.
Jeez.
It was bad.
Did you hit her back?
No. Because I would have fucking I would have ended up running from the fucking cops on.
You would have murdered her from one hit?
Dude, I punched so hard. Let me punch you. Let's punch each other right now. Let's do that. Have you seen that online where they like the people slap each other? Yeah. Dude, answer me this. If this guy's on the run.
Yeah, what's his name? Do you remember
Brian
his name?
Laundrie.
Brian Laundrie, yeah.
If somebody called you and they were like, hey, block number. Hey.
This is Brian Laundrie.
This is Brian Laundrie. And he said, I want to come on the podcast and I want to tell my side of the story, but you can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody.
Good hypothetical.
You can't tell anybody that I'm coming on, and you can't release it till after. Because like you can't post and be like, anybody got questions for Brian Laundrie?
I would lie to him and say yes.
And then you would set him up.
I would call the cops and I'd say, can we still do the podcast? And you come in after.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would tattle.
You would do the podcast.
I would tattle.
And then the end of the podcast, you would be like,
I might, at the end of the podcast.
Up.
Because he might, what if, that's the shitty thing. What if in the podcast he actually convinces me of his innocence? And then I'm like, dude,
it's too late.
I'm so sorry. The cops you're getting arrested. I'm so sorry.
That'd be a great movie. He's like, I was innocent. I told you all. Yeah, I bet he's pretty convincing.
Here's what I'd have to say.
Because he convinced those cops that the shit was going on. I
Here's
think
what it would
that
have to be.
he broke
Ooh.
down with the cops.
If he calls me for this scenario, I'd say you're gonna have to convince me over the phone, and then if you convince me over the phone, I'll have you on the pod.
Because you'd be
I'm pretty
afraid that
picky about my guess.
he's gonna kill you.
No, I'm not afraid of that. Why would he come after me?
Have they said the cause of death yet?
It just said homicide.
Homicide, yeah.
So I guess that could be. Yeah, who knows?
Fucking power bomb. Something crazy.
The body cam footage is pretty crazy. See, in the body
I don't
cam
think
footage,
the body cam footage is crazy. I think it's if you take it at surface level, I think it's like, oh yeah, she was doing this, she was doing that. But I think if you look deeper into it at all, you can see like, oh, this dude's playing these cops and she's protecting this guy because she's like, dude, chicks get like
when
that.
I watched it, I thought, and I know this is going to come
That's typical 22-year-old
because he
shit.
killed her, and I do believe that probably. But when I watch the body cam footage, it makes me go, oh, she's very mentally unstable, and he isn't as mentally unstable. They also both looked like they were on drugs. But
He's so mentally unstable that he's fucking like, he's like the Joker kind of, where he's like playing the cops like a fiddle, dude.
maybe
I think, dude, she's what, 22 and he's 24?
something like that.
I think so. I think that's classic, like 22-year-old shit. Now, obviously, fucking killing somebody, but like this weird, not like weird, like toxic relationship, but like the dude is the extra toxic one, but she's like, oh, it's probably like, who knows what her parents are like or whatever. And like whenever you finally, like people who don't have the best childhood, where they grow up and then like they have somebody who like supposedly has like unconditional love towards them and they've never experienced that. So she's probably like, oh, I have to do everything, even though this guy fucking smacks me around in Utah.
He loves me, yeah.
He
We still
loves
love
me.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't they engaged?
I think they were engaged and
Yeah.
then they'd stopped being engaged.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They'd
Well,
Man.
that's now
They
they're
were all
definitely not
fucked
engaged,
up.
but now they had stopped being engaged before. Which I feel like that's the end. Like if you're engaged and then you take a step back and don't become unengaged, what does that do?
It'd be hard to go back to being engaged, but I think, listen, love is complicated. The heart wants what it wants. The girl breaks your heart and breaks the engagement, or maybe he did. Who knows? You still like will do anything for that person. Oh, I'll still.
I
go
think
out
that's.
with you.
I really think that's what it is. Is that she was like, oh, this is unconditional love. I don't know what her home.
Maybe
life
it was
is like.
self-defense. Maybe all these people are saying he's the worst guy, and she was shoving him off a cliff, and he
like did the thing in wrestling where like the person throws you into the rope, but then you switch around and throw them.
I
into
don't
the
know.
rope.
Probably not. He would have came forward.
That's okay. So this is why
Yeah.
I want there
he
to
would have
be.
came forward.
I want if he kills himself, that sucks because I want
He's
to
not
hear
gonna
that.
kill himself.
I think he's going to.
Why
dude.
do you think that?
Where is he?
He's out. He has wilderness training. He's like a naked and afraid type of dude.
Isn't he? He's like an Eagle
Yeah.
Scout.
Yeah,
Are you an Eagle Scout?
in my mind,
You know what? I
I'm
kind of feel
building a
that
van.
the way that you say that is how I feel about jujitsu, where I'm like, I've never done any jujitsu, but in my mind, like if three guys come up to me on the street, like jujitsu is just going to take over and I'm going to just like backwards elbow. I'm going to like smash the other two dudes into each other. Like something crazy, like push a
Here's
guy's
how
elbow
I know
up.
I'm a pussy.
I
There's
know
a
I'm pussy because I
guy-
carry fucking bear spray in my car.
That does make you a pussy. There's
No.
a guy who's another comedian in the comedy scene who has done some despicable things towards me. Fight-worthy things.
Really?
Yeah, like deserves me to beat him up.
Do I know this guy?
Yeah. And I ran into him and all I did, and he's not a big guy. Like I think I do, even in my mind, even when I saw him, I do think I would win a fight against him.
You should set up a boxing match.
I legit
Can you tell me
hate
who
him.
this is and then
I'll tell you later.
edit it out?
Yeah, I'll tell you off the podcast.
Can you write it down? I want to know so bad.
I do think I could beat him up, but I don't think that I could kick his ass. You know what I mean?
You think you could win like by decision?
Yeah,
Like
I
in
think
boxing where it
yes,
goes to the scorecard.
Yes, and so the only way I'd actually want to beat him up is if I trained so that I could kick his ass.
What did this guy do to you? Is it too specific? Will everybody
I'll
know?
tell you later.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. I hate this because now that's all I can think about. I think you could kick his ass.
I do too, but well, no. See, the thing is, I do think I could kick his ass, but I don't think it would be like, oh, he got destroyed, because like he works out, he's lanky, you know, he's in shape, he's tall, he's not like a.
You should confront him.
I mean, I have verbally, but
What did he say?
oh, he said that I'm all those things that he says. Yeah.
That's bad news.
You can't argue with a crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When it comes from nothing, you can't argue. You can't
I
even
hate
have
that.
the argument because it's not like he's like, well, this happened and this. You know what I mean? There's nothing he could say.
Yeah. Okay. We could snap back in.
Yeah. Let's go to the questions. Maybe you could read them.
You sent me this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you like Facebook?
I'm an Android user.
So you like Facebook? What does that have to do with the Android?
Well, so if I send over text, they come in. If someone sends me a
they
picture
send in
over
green.
text, it comes in compressed. Yeah.
I think Facebook is like the backbone of this country.
Facebook is
Facebook
kind
is
of
very
like
important.
network TV.
Well, dude,
A lot of
Facebook
people
is
still watch it.
Facebook is how I keep my fucking ear to the ground.
With what in regards
Just
to
what's
what?
going on in the world.
News?
No, that's Twitter, dude. Twitter's where it's all
So
at.
what do you mean between what's going on
Like-
in the world? What?
So like where I'm from, there's like a lot of like very conservative people, like QAnon, like crazy people. So like I'm friends on Facebook. Like my Facebook is pretty wild, and so I like to. There's people I deleted off my Facebook because I think they're too. I really despise them. But like once every 2-3 days, I'll check in on their Facebook because they're saying crazy shit, and that's how I'm like, oh, that's kind of the narrative of like an entire political party
Place.
of people right now. So now I always am like a step ahead, I feel like, of like other people because I have like a firsthand look at this type of shit.
Here's things that I genuinely still use Facebook for. So I used to use message boards and forums. Those are kind of dead now. They're still around, but now Facebook groups is where it's at.
Facebook groups are there's a lot of fun Facebook groups.
Well, fun ones, but also if I have a specific question,
Like about your van or podcasting.
podcasting, or recently, there's a very recent use for it. There was this massive yellow spider at my parents' house. It was huge, and I was like, what the fuck is that thing? Like, what kind of spider is that? So I took a picture and uploaded it to a spider identification Facebook group, and instantly they were like, that's a garden spider.
Damn. Those dudes must fuck. dude to identify spiders on Facebook.
Those dudes are...
Well, dude, even that, yeah, there's like
Cool.
there's so much shit like that on Facebook where it's like that's how you, like I'm saying, that's the backbone of this fucking country. Is you go onto Facebook and you're like, what's that spider? You're just gonna Google it for hours, but you can fucking reach out and talk to a fucking human being.
Yeah. Another thing that Facebook is coming up on, I think, is Facebook Marketplace. I think it's
You can sell shit
Craigslist.
on there.
Yeah, I think it's bigger than Craigslist now.
Yeah. Well, all that's left on Facebook or Craigslist is like missed connections.
There's still, I feel like now people will post to, there's still old people who use Craigslist, or people will post to both.
Have you ever met a woman on Craigslist?
Never. You?
No. You've never tried a misconnection?
I've posted a misconnection.
For what?
I think in college, there was like a beautiful barista,
Damn.
and I posted about her.
Nothing
Just-
came back.
Nothing came back.
What if it was somebody messaged you and was like, yeah, it was me, and then you showed up and it was a dude who looked like me?
That's probably what would happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Craigslist is for trickery. A lot of like
It
mischievous
could
shit
be.
going
Well,
on there.
the thing is, I wouldn't go straight from Craigslist to meet. I'd say, what's your number? What's your Instagram? What's your favorite? Which now I do even from, if I meet a girl on Tinder or Bumble, I'm not going straight from Tinder.
Do you
to
meet
the
girls
date.
on there? Because you keep telling me you're meeting girls on Instagram, and I say that's a bad move.
Instagram's also bad. I'm meeting girls any way I can. So like today I matched with a girl on Bumble.
Okay.
Really cute. And I should specify that because I don't date no scrubs, right?
I think you need a big woman.
But then I wouldn't be able to have sex.
Yeah, you would just be on.
I'd have to take Viagra.
Why? You don't love big, beautiful women? Damn, dude, you better cut that out, or else there's gonna be an army.
I already did a whole nother episode where I talked about how I didn't like them.
I don't know,
Sexually.
dude. I think that obviously I'm joking, but I think that you're one of the only people I know that is. You say this to me a lot, and I feel like you're genuinely saying it whenever you say that you want to get married. Like you're
Yeah.
like trying to meet like a woman to marry
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
But then you go on Instagram and all these other things, and you just DM these people, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, we went to a baseball game, and I hated her."
I didn't. If that girl's listening, which she isn't, I didn't hate her. The baseball. I just didn't love her. It just wasn't the one.
Well, and that so you feel like you're gonna meet a girl on the first date, and you're like, "Whoa, she's the one."
No. But you're right. I mean, Instagram isn't a good way to meet the love of my life. But how am I supposed to meet the love of my life then?
You're just gonna play it by numbers.
Yeah, numbers game.
I don't know. I think that leads to sad existence.
It's so far you're right. But this girl has potential. So I matched with this girl on Bumble, really cute. You start doing small talk.
What is your small talk opening? Because you're a pretty straightforward
Bumble,
guy.
she messages you.
Yeah.
I think she just said, hey.
And you're
and
like, fuck.
I think I said, how's your day? That's my small
That's
talk
good.
opening. I think on Instagram, my opening will just be a heart or a hey, how are you? Something really basic. And if they respond, they're interested.
I think they're confused if they respond. Because you used to, your classic move, I don't know if the fans know about the most classic move of your moves. Do you remember your classic move? This is how long we've been friends, is that you used to send
girls $1.
You used to send women $1.
Over Facebook. Yeah, that move, unfortunately, was dated. This was back when Facebook was more popular.
Yeah.
That move you can't do anymore because now girls aren't really on Facebook.
And they're not going to see it for years.
Yeah, they might see it weeks later, and then at that point they're like, what the fuck is this? And they just close it.
Yeah.
If you could send dollars over Instagram,
you would.
By the way, I'm surprised Instagram hasn't done that feature because it's owned by Facebook, so they could do the feature. And then
you should just hop on
Venmo. It would put OnlyFans to shame.
Hop on Venmo.
Yeah, but Venmo it would be a lot more work because you have to find them on Instagram, then look them up on Venmo. It's just kind of
do you want to get
you
married?
Can't message
do you want to
each
get
other.
married or not?
True. So I matched with a girl on Bumble, made some small talk. She found out I was a comedian because I don't put any pictures of myself doing comedy on dating profiles.
Why not?
And I feel like it's so cliche LA kinda. It's kind of lame.
No, I guess you're right.
It's kind of unattractive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you're like, I'm an actor. I'm
because
a
also
comedian.
you're not like if somebody thinks of a comedian, they're like, oh, this person does this, this, and that, and you're a pretty normal guy. Well, you're normal in a sense of as far as comedians goes, but you're also very weird, and you have a van and reptiles and shit.
They have what's the word? Prejudgment,
notions of
pre-notions of what a comedian is. So if someone sees a comedian on Bumble, they're either gonna think he's a loser, right? Like I think by default, if I see a girl on Bumble and she has headshots and says actor, I think she's
a failed actor.
A failed actor.
And people don't know that you're doing things.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm like, I'm not, famous, but I'm like a working comedian or whatever.
You should post a picture of you and Louis Anderson or something. And girls will be like, this guy's in the fucking no.
No one knows. I don't know. So I'm weird about it. So whatever. I don't post I'm a comedian. So right now, it says that I'm an astronaut at SpaceX as my job.
And people believe that?
I don't know.
Okay.
So
I think you should say something boring, like you do something technical at SpaceX, and I'm like, whoa, this guy has a lot of money.
Well, I kind of wanted it in that vein of when I say that I'm not an astronaut, they're like, I knew it. You know what I mean? Where it could be. I wanted it in that vein where like, whoa, if he is an astronaut, I kind of wanted the job to be so cool that they swipe right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe this guy's an astronaut, or he's silly and he's not an astronaut.
That's fair. But I don't know if there's people that their job is astronaut at SpaceX. I think you're
There's got to be, right?
I don't think so. I think they send either satellites or dudes who work at Starbucks into space.
So there's no more astronauts? You're saying
At
astronauts
NASA,
is a
maybe.
dead profession?
For SpaceX.
But NASA doesn't have their own spaceships.
What are you talking about? Yes, they do.
No, NASA uses SpaceX now.
It's like fucking crossing
NASA
over?
doesn't have their own spaceships. NASA rents other people's ships.
What'd they do with the one? Oh, they all blew up, huh?
Or they were just phased out or it was too expensive. NASA hasn't launched their own rocket in a long time.
Would you go to space?
Fuck yeah.
Why?
Check out the beyond, the unknown.
Like right now,
Explore.
even though it's so dangerous?
It's not dangerous.
What are you talking about? People would fucking blow up all the time.
No, they just sent 4 dudes to space for 3 days and they were watching movies and shit.
That's what you would do in space, is watch movies?
I would do whatever I could. Whatever I was allowed to do.
All right, let's say there's 4 of you and you go up into space, 3 dudes and 1 chick. Would you be very professional, or would you tell the girl you like her?
Is she hot? Like, do I like her?
She's not hot. She's not
Here's the thing.
She's not one of these people walking around on the fucking street out here, but she's a pretty normal chick.
I don't usually hit on women when there's other dudes around. I don't like competition. Maybe if I could tell she's into me, and I was friends with the other guys, I could. But if there was 4 dudes here and 1 girl over there, I would just be really cool and professional.
Yeah. But what if she told one of the guys when you weren't around that she likes you?
And if I liked her back, then that'd be cool.
I don't know why in my mind space is Saved by the Bell.
If
on the spaceship.
It could be. Yeah, and that's the other thing is she's single. Oh, wait, where was I going with this? Oh, so the girl I matched on Bumble, I think there's potential here. This one has potential. I think she looks really cute in her photos. I told her I wasn't an astronaut, and she was cool with it. And she said, what do you do? I said, I'm a comedian. And she goes, oh, I'm starting a comedy club. I'm helping start a comedy club in no, she didn't say where, in a comedy club in LA. And I go, what do you mean? What comedy club? And she goes, the Ice House in Pasadena. And I said, oh, I worked at the Ice House for many years. And she goes, no way. She goes, do you know Mitch? And then I immediately called Mitch.
You called him?
Yeah, I called Mitch.
This
this morning.
When was the last time you talked to Mitch before this?
6 months ago. I don't know. You know, we're friends.
I know, but it's just funny to call and be like, Mitch, what's going on? I
said, hey, how are you? And then I was like, tell me about this young lady here. And
Mitch is an honest guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel close enough to Mitch to where this is not a weird thing. So Mitch was like, oh, I think she's cute. I feel like I should cut this out in case either of them listen to this.
Just beep it out.
But he said, I think she's cute and that you'd like her and she's cool. And I'm like, awesome.
So now what?
And then he sent her a text. I had him send her a text.
Why would you do that?
No, it worked.
That's weird.
No, it wasn't weird. He just sent her a text, hey, I heard you're talking to Ari on a dating app. He's a great guy. Girls want that.
That's actually good.
Yeah, it's good. So then she laughed about it, like, oh, you talked to Mitch, got her number. Now we're texting. Now we're going to meet up tomorrow night.
Didn't do what?
I haven't decided yet.
Have you told her that you have snakes?
No.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her that you have any reptiles.
Snakes make someone unique and different.
No, they don't. It's scary.
I've had very few women who've actually that's been the deal breaker. Maybe one or two.
That's like third date stuff.
I don't agree.
I don't know, dude.
I think it makes her go, oh, this guy's kind of weird and cool.
Weird, yes, cool, no. Because she thinks that you do weird shit with your fucking animals.
There's nothing I could do sexually with my snake.
Lay in bed with it. You ever laid in bed? Have you ever went to sleep with your snake in your bed?
No, because snakes are escape artists. So if I fell asleep with my snake, it would be gone in the morning.
Where would it go?
Anywhere. It would hide somewhere in my apartment.
What if you closed the door to your room?
And it would go under the door.
And put a wedge underneath it.
It would be hidden somewhere. I'd have to go hunting for my snake in my room.
Have you ever been mad at your snake?
I've had to do that with a ball python once. It got out of its cage, and I got home. I'm like searching all over the house. Thought it was out, and then months later, I found it like buried behind a box of shoes in the closet, and it was still alive.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it scare you when you saw it?
A little. I was like, oh my.
Have you ever been mad at your snake? Has your snake ever done something to make you mad?
No.
Like squeezed on you or something? No. Like the way you get mad at a dog for like shitting on the floor or something?
No, but my snake's been mad at me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know they show emotion.
Yeah. Do you think I could get canceled for this? When I was in college, I had a ball python, and I named it Retard.
No, that was a different time. It was funny. You were allowed to say retard. You were allowed to scream it on the street until like 3 weeks ago.
I just love the idea of, because it was a cute snake, and people would be like, oh, what's its name? Or girls, it's so cute, or whatever, and they would have to call it Retard.
You would make them.
Well, that was its name.
This would be a very funny tabloid thing. Like if you did something else to get canceled, it's like, and you know how like when people get canceled,
it would be like a side note.
Yeah.
Also, in college, he named his snake Retard.
Dude, that's kind of like, do you know who Chris Watts is? He's a guy who people are comparing this Brian Laundrie guy to. He like killed his whole family. And so during this thing, he had like a quote unquote like beautiful family on Facebook and like social media, blah, blah, blah. And he killed his whole family to be with another lady. And then during the investigation, this guy called like the FBI or the cops. It was a gay guy. And he was like, yeah, I actually like I think he like blew him or something. He's like, I blew Chris Watts, or like I did, like me and Chris Watts had gay sex, and like, he's like, does that help? And the FBI was like, no. They're like, no, that does nothing for us. Like, what are you talking about? And the guy was like, I don't know.
You could say the same thing about the Netflix documentary about the football player on the Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, that gay guy too.
They made it all gay and shit, and you're like, what does this have to do with anything that he was gay in high school?
Maybe he was hiding. He was afraid of being gay, so he killed everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know.
I've listened to a lot of stuff about him, dude. I feel like I interrupted you. Do you want to do questions now?
Oh yeah, we could go to the questions.
Do whatever, dude.
Yeah, but here, you read the questions.
I have them on my phone.
Yeah.
Fucking broke my phone while I was moving. Something fell on me. This dude right here, dude. He just broke up with my ex 3 weeks ago. I can't stop watching rom-coms without crying. Help. He broke up with her. Why is he crying?
Wait, what's the question? Read the question again.
Just broke up with my ex 3 weeks ago. I can't watch rom-coms without crying. First of all, don't watch rom-coms.
Maybe when he says I just broke up, meaning like we just broke up, but he didn't break up with her.
Well, he's making himself cry on purpose by watching romantic comedies.
For me, when I'm sad and I watch something sad or listen to a sad song, that make like crying feels kind of therapeutic.
Well, yeah.
It can be good.
I don't I don't watch or listen to sad shit whenever I'm sad. I do like I like country music a lot. So like a lot of country music is pretty sad, but it's like I was listening to sad country on the way over here.
But you weren't sad when you were listening
No,
to
I'm in a great mood.
But I'm saying when you are sad and something like that comes on and you start crying, it's, I don't know, most rom-coms have happy endings. Like you meet the girl who you're supposed to meet.
Well, that's
stuff
why
like
he's
that.
crying, is because his life is all fucked up. Because he fucking
Yeah, but he's got to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I need more information.
Yeah.
Can you call this guy on Instagram?
Nah.
This guy.
Let's keep going. On to the next. There's a lot of them.
Any advice on becoming a door guy at the store? Don't.
Oh, you're skipping through them. Let's go through every one. Unless
okay.
it mentions like Theo or something. I've got a lot of annoying
Did you
Theo
read
ones.
any of these?
Uh-uh.
I'm going to skip over ones that are boring.
Okay. We could go to the door guy one if we want to skip to that one.
Yeah, I mean, be funny. Which,
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you need to ask that question
You're
broadly,
in trouble
you're
already.
very far away from it. Like you need to, if you hang out at the store enough and you're funny and are in the comedy scene of LA, you'll know a general idea of how to get a job at the comedy store. It's by hanging out there.
I mean, at least it
everyone
used to
liking
be
you and being funny.
It seemed like it was almost like a weird fraternity thing where you almost had to be like nominated, or like an Elks Lodge where it's like you had to be like nominated by like your name has to be in someone's.
But here's
ear
the thing:
usually.
if you're funny and you're very active in the LA comedy scene, you're gonna know some door guys.
Who's gonna tell
Just
you?
from doing mics and shows, and then you could ask that door guy, and then they will instantly be like, "I'll recommend you," if you're funny.
Yeah.
And known, and then you get recommended, and then you audition, and then blah blah blah. So I guess the short answer is make friends with all the door guys and be funny.
Yeah. Mainly be friends with all the door guys. Because that's only the way I did it. It's not like I did it with like an ulterior motive. That was the word we were looking
Right.
for earlier. Ulterior motive. I don't remember what it was about. But
No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. But the point is, you'll be friends with the door guys if you're very active and doing a lot of stand up around LA, because you're gonna run into them at shows and mics. But it's a weird time because of COVID too.
Yeah.
It is harder now.
Did I ever tell you the story about my first door guy audition?
I think I was there. You did bad.
Well, that's not why I did bad. I didn't do bad. I did fine.
No, your first audition, I was the one who got you on.
Well,
I think other people recommended, but I was hosting, and I was like, "Can you put?" Remember, I went in and he forgot about you. I was
that's
like,
what I'm gonna tell you. I know the entire story, and this is because I talk about this with Simon Gibson all the time.
Okay.
Because Simon Gibson was there the week before, and he's very funny, and he does a very funny Frank Sinatra bit.
Okay.
And so, you had messaged
Adam,
and other people had been like, "Hey, if you're hiring this, that."
Yeah.
And this is February of 2019.
Okay.
So then it was that, and then Adam had texted you, said, "Yeah, tell him to come in
Yes.
Monday
Right.
for this." And then that was the week that Brody passed away.
Really?
Yeah.
You were. I thought for some reason I thought you were already a door guy when Brody had passed away.
So this was
an emotional week.
Brody passed away, I believe, on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And so then that Monday, when Adam and Brody were very good friends, so that you texted him on like Tuesday, I think Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and then Brody passed away, and then I came in that Monday, and it was very weird around the store just because it was like very somber, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so I came in there and I was like, so Simon had gone up the week before, and I went.
Oh, he thought you were Simon?
So then I went in there and I was like, hey Adam, how's it going, man? And he's like, yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of how he talks anyways. He said, good, yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah, you had told me to come, or said to have me come tonight. And he goes, did I tell you that? And I was like, well, you told, or he goes, do you do the Frank Sinatra bit?
I didn't know this.
And I was like, no, I don't. He goes, yeah, man, go check in. And I was, so then in my mind, I was just like oh fuck, like you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, like you start spiraling and you're like, oh, nobody wants me here. Like I'm not even supposed. So then I go on stage.
It's not the ideal feeling.
No.
When you're supposed to be like to
already
you,
in a
this is a
nerve-wracking
big deal,
spot.
and you think you got a spot, and then you show up and they're like, "Who are you?" And you're like, "Okay, I guess I'll still do it."
Yeah. And so then I went up and had a
It's a
very
bad
weird
mindset.
set.
Yeah,
and
you didn't
then,
have a good set that night.
And then like,
But I think it was
was
not
already
like the
weird.
person before you killed and the person after you killed and you did bad. It was just kind of like you
'cause
also,
I was so
also
in my
didn't
head.
do good.
And
Yeah.
so then, like a few months later, I went up and Adam was like, "Oh, good job," like whatever. And then I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I like walked down the stairs and then I came back up and I was like, "Hey, man, like I still want to work here." And he was like, "Okay, all right." And then just randomly, like 3 months later, Quincy had texted me. He was like, "Hey, Adam wants you to come in tonight."
After he had seen you more times, right?
He had seen me that time, and when he was like, "Hey, great job," like,
But
cool.
then he saw you in that 3 months. I assume he kept seeing you.
Yeah.
More times.
And
yeah.
then because I kept winning the set of the night thing.
Yeah.
I won that like 4 times in a row.
See,
And it's like
sometimes it's just persistence.
but it's also like that's like a weird like backdoor way, not like weird, but like a backdoor way to get in.
You're
of,
not
like,
the only one that got in through that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And so I like did that like multiple times, and then he was like, "Oh, good job," and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool," like. Yeah, still want to work here. And then I think he saw me a few more times, and then he like just randomly one day was like,
That's usually how it is. He'll tell someone, "Do you want to work here?" Yes, and then when they actually need someone, he'll go through his Rolodex.
yeah. And then after my set, I like went and sat down, and I was like, all right, just kind of like sitting here. And then
The time you did bad?
no, the time I did good. Whenever I came back in,
Yeah.
and it was too where I was at a point then, which I feel like a lot of the shit works this way, where like you wanted something for so long, and then like weird shit happened with it, and then I like I went up and I crushed because I was like, who
care.
cares if this works or not? Like it's already been so weird. And then so he had like somebody come get me, and he came over and he was like, "Oh, good job," and I was like, "Cool." He's like, "Do you still want to work? Like you want to like work here?" And I was like, in my head, I was just like, I was kind of like, I didn't think that was what's gonna happen. So I was like, "Oh, what?" And he's like, "Do you want to work here?" Like basically, like, oh, "Do you want it or fucking not?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure, yeah." So that's why I started working there.
It's a good story.
It's a great story.
That's a great story for the guy who asked the question.
Yeah.
How do you get a job as a door guy?
Just be there and don't be annoying.
be there,
and be friends with people.
do the open mics, all that. I know there's no open mics right now, but yeah.
No, that set of the night mic, I literally like
It was great for that.
Yeah.
Or even like you have people sneak in through roast battle scene or Kill Tony. If you're just there a lot and enough people there go, oh, that guy's funny,
Yeah.
that helps you. I had a similar story. One time back in the day, remember the Laugh Factory open mic where you had to wait outside? So I'm waiting outside all day for a 3-minute spot at the Laugh Factory, which I, to this day, I have not met a single comedian who gets up at the Laugh Factory and you're like, how did you get up there? And he goes, I did the open mic and then did good. Not one.
I've done that like that second showcase thing like 3 times.
Yeah.
And just nothing.
I've not one. So if you are out there, I mean, you're not going to be listening to this. But yeah, so that's not how you get in. But I didn't know it at the time or whatever. I still wanted to try. So I go up.
And you outside of that, you have to deal with the worst people ever.
Crazy people waiting in line.
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. So I waited in line. I got like one of the later spots. Linochi is just getting in at the Laugh Factory at the time because he's friends with Chris D'Elia. And I go up and I do good. And Linochi's in the room because he had a show after that. He was on the show after. And he said to the booker, oh, you should watch this guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
About me. And then she was like, hey, you were funny. Will you come back next week and do another set? Because Jamie's going to be here next week. Jamie's the owner of the Laugh Factory. So in my head, I'm like, oh, sweet. Not that I made it, but I was like, what, the booker of the Laugh Factory likes me and I'm going to perform for them. It's something, Similar situation to you. So I come back next week and I go up to the security guard. I'm like, oh, hey, the booker told me to come back today to do another set. And he goes, you're not on the list, man. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not making this up to sneak in the Laugh Factory. I don't care about watching the open mic for free. And he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're not on the list. And I'm like, well, again, I'm not making it up. So maybe ask her, because since she's in there, ask her if there was a mistake. And he's like, okay. And so it was like treating me like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He gets her and then she's like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, put him on. Like he's going to go up last. Apparently, because Jamie was never there or very rarely there. She had told like literally 30 people to come that week too. So now I'm last at Laugh Factory open mic where everyone's doing
2 minutes.
2 minutes and there's like 30 of us. I wait to the end. The energy in the room is fucking dead. I go up, I'm bombing for a first minute, and then they light me, and they give you a 10-second light at that mic. So, and I knew it was very early. It felt early. So I'm like, oh, he must have hated me. And I was still stupidly waited around, and Jamie was like talking to all the people who wanted to talk to him, and I walked up to him, and he goes, oh, yeah, your name wasn't on the list, so I didn't know why you were on my stage, so I lit you. And that was it. He said, come back in a month.
I think
It was something like that.
So come back in 5 years.
Yeah.
But dude, I've had like, I mean, I've done that to a bunch of people, like, especially like at the Ice House, of like telling people like, oh, hey, this guy's very funny. You should watch this guy. Have you ever done the opposite? Where
This
like,
guy's very bad? To a booker?
well, not like even this guy's very bad. I've done it to people where like this guy was very shitty to one of my friends, like a lot, like online. He's just a shitty guy. And I was hosting at the Improv, and they have like
Who's shitty to your friends online?
all kinds of people. I don't want to say. I'll tell you after the podcast, dude.
I told you mine.
I know. Are you gonna cut it out?
Sure.
I don't trust you to cut it out.
Come on.
No, I'll tell you after. I don't trust you to cut it out. So this guy was just a shitbag online to one of my friends, like a bunch. And so I was hosting the mic at the Improv, where and then they have like a few of like the showcase spots.
But you're
there.
hosting tonight too, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Have like the showcase spots, you know? And so then I was hosting with another one of my friends, and I was like, hey man, here's what we're gonna do. I was like, we're gonna give this guy not a bad intro, not a good intro, just an intro, a very like
Broad
basic intro. And then
To me, that's a good. It sounds like a good intro.
and then we're gonna go up and we are going to talk the booker's ear off for the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
And be like, hey, is this good? Like everything good? Like, dude, anybody who else needs to go? Like literally nothing. Like
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, you know that, and then so that the booker sees none of them. And that's kind of, I guess,
I've never done that.
do you think that's evil? Or do you think that's well deserved? And that's being a good friend?
No.
And that's kind of a life
No, I
lesson?
mean, if
of-
that guy sucked,
he's also not very funny.
if he's not funny and was like a dick to people, that's you're acting as God in karma, and I like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a life lesson of like, well, don't be if you're a shitbag, people are going to be a shitbag back to you.
Yeah, I mean, if I dislike someone bad enough, which isn't, there's only like 2 people I hate, but if you were one of those 2 people, and I was hosting the mic, I would not put them on the mic. Period. So the fact that you even put them on,
Well,
is nice.
they hand you like they're like, here's the open mic, and then here's the list.
club put him
The
on.
club put him on
Got it.
because he was at another thing.
Got it. Yeah, that changes things.
You don't hate people, or there's like,
There's not really.
I don't think there's a lot of people that I hate where I'm like, oh fuck this. But there's a
Just
lot
that
of
one that we talked about earlier.
But there's a
that
lot of
edited
people
it.
that like, even like where we were together last night, where I'm like,
Oh, yeah. There's people who I don't like,
of
but-
course.
but-
and like I refuse to be around these people.
But I
'cause they're
wouldn't
awful.
like even that person who last night we were around who neither of us could stand. If I pulled her, I'd put her on the open mic. If I pulled her name out, I don't like despise. I wouldn't talk the booker's ear off. She'd do that on her own. She's gonna ruin that shit for herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't need me to.
No,
help
you're
her
right.
With that.
That person isn't funny that I was talking about, but I was like, I'm not even going to give them the opportunity to be funny.
Yeah, I've never. You're evil.
You think it's evil?
You're a spiteful, evil man.
Maybe I should go on the run with Brian Laundrie, dude.
Or what was that guy who got mad at me for being gay on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. That was very funny.
Like after that, if he ever came to the Ice House open mic and I was hosting, he's not getting on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I do that to all kinds of people.
Or that girl who heckled me during my transgender joke.
Yeah. Same thing.
I'd never put her on again.
Yeah. I do that to people all the time.
Yeah.
Like people who I kind of, there's people that I just kind of face, like if I'm hosting like at the Ice House mic, and there's people who like are just annoying and they're like shitty and like have been shitty to me for any reason, and like if they're also just not funny, like I'm almost gonna just never put them on until they kind of get the hint and just stop showing up, or like I'll put them on very late because then they'll be like, oh, I did go up there but it was bad, so now they'll go away.
I'll give them just bad
Yeah.
experiences there. Yeah.
I think that's almost even more effective is if you give somebody a bad experience.
I've heard a few people who hate me, and every time it's someone who the most I've ever said to them is like, hey, how are you? Like a person I don't know at all.
Yeah.
It's always that way.
Yeah,
Comedy is very gossipy.
of course.
It's very cliquey. People like each other, talk shit, hate each other.
It's kind of like the backbone of comedy is gossip. It's very fun. It's one of the funnest things to do in comedy.
toxic though. It's just
But it's
negative.
fun.
Yeah.
It is. It's fun. It's fun to talk shit about people.
don't know if
we
it
went and
is.
got pizza last night and talked shit about a bunch of people.
We did?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Nothing crazy. Not like, oh, I want to kill this
And now
person.
a lot of them are door guys at the Comedy Store.
All the people
So-
who you talk shit about?
No, a few people though where I don't even think it's cool to work there anymore because of it.
Yeah. But I don't know. We could talk more about it off. But, there's always, you always need people to pick up a few shifts.
Are there any more good questions on there?
Somebody who's very popular in this world said, don't know quite what this means.
You could say their name.
Harry Jowsey.
Oh, okay.
He's always was unbelievably popular.
Yeah.
He said, "Do you get your cock out?" I don't know what that means. That sounds very Australian. Hey,
Yeah.
mate, you get your cock out? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I get it out sometimes.
Why are you looking over there? Is he right here?
In case he's watching.
Oh, you're looking into the camera. I thought you were
Yeah.
like looking over to the couch. He's like, "Hey, mate, you gonna get your cock out?" Dude?
Yeah, I get it out.
You think he watches the pod?
Probably the clips I post.
Yeah. What if you post a clip and he's like, "Hey, man, bloke right there is downright mental," and he's like, I don't know how Australian people
That's
talk.
pretty good.
Yeah, downright mental, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then I join his crew. Would you like to join a crew?
I don't think you could join his crew. I don't think I could either.
We're not hot enough.
Yeah, we're not hot enough. He rolls with a cool crew.
I want to be cool. I think I've decided. Like, dude, I saw
can't be.
I saw a cool fat guy at the Comedy Store last night.
Who?
I don't know his name, but he
wasn't cool. He
was
was trying to be cool.
he was cool. He was with cool guys too, black guys. And so he
To be cool, you got to be rich, handsome. Like you have to offer
I
something
don't think you have
to
to
a
be
cool
handsome.
crew.
I think
too.
you could be a cool fat guy.
Or you'd have to offer something really great to a cool group. So that
I'm
be
funny.
like they'd have to be able to be like, oh, he makes us thousands of dollars. No, funny is not cool.
doesn't cut it.
Harry's funny. Harry's really funny.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But I think you need me, dude. Like, it's almost a perspective manipulation.
I'm telling you,
where
to be
I
in that
make
crew,
them look
and he's a
cool.
nice guy, so I'm not trying to say like he wouldn't. It's just you wouldn't offer any value to the crew.
Like, the other night, Martin Lawrence was at the Comedy Store, and there was like 5 guys with him. And in my head, I was like, I wonder what it's like to be one of those guys. You just roll around with Martin and like crack his water bottles.
It's like when you open up for any famous person. It's shitty.
But they weren't even comedians, I don't think. They were just there.
No, it's probably that's even worse. Because when you're a comedian, you're like, okay, I get to the opening spots. When you're just there, you're just a worker bee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like there to laugh at his jokes and like kick. Martin Lawrence is famous for having people around him that kick people's ass. Like, he's well known for that in comedy, I feel like. Like, everybody, like, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah.
No, that's who is the guy?
Cat Williams?
Cat Williams.
But
is
Martin
known for
Lawrence,
that.
too.
I've
heard of all kinds of
who
stories.
got in a fight with
I've
Martin
heard
Lawrence's
that. I've
crew.
heard like 5 different stories about people getting beat up by Martin Lawrence's crew.
That's interesting.
Because the other night I was sitting in the back chairs with Ryan, the manager of the Comedy Store, and he was like, hey, it was just me and him, and he was like, Martin Lawrence is coming in, and he's probably going to have a bunch of people with him who are going to want to sit here. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? And he's like, well, I'm going to say no. And then just like, I just
Did he say okay?
You know, he was laughing, and he was
Yeah.
like, because in my head I'm like, they're just going to pull me out by my shirt and my pants and throw me down the stairs.
Nah, they wouldn't do that. They'd
You don't
be
think
like,
so?
Nah.
You think they would like it if I said no?
No, but
Do you think that's a good
what
way to
could
get
they
in the
do?
crew?
They don't own the Comedy Store. You're allowed to sit there, so.
Yeah. Maybe I should start standing up for myself like
I think
that
you
to
should.
large bodyguards.
I was in, last week I was in St. Louis performing,
Yeah.
and I went to a barbershop and got a haircut.
I saw that.
Okay. Oh,
I
yeah,
saw the picture. I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
very funny.
Thank you.
That guy was also named Ari. Or was that a joke?
No, that was me in the picture.
I know, but in the picture you said it's crazy how 2 Aris can be so different.
Yeah.
His name was Ari or no?
Oh, you didn't get the joke?
I got the joke that obviously...
No, the joke was I'm different from Ari Shafir because I was wearing a Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
Oh.
In my mind, I was thinking that the barber's name was also Ari. And so you're like, man, it's crazy
I was
how
wearing
different
a
we
Kobe
are.
Bryant thing.
I see. Now I understand.
So I was like pro Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
No, so it was a black barbershop.
Yes.
And
Did you search this out or you were just walking down the street?
I was walking down the street, needed a haircut, walked in there. And St. Louis is a very diverse city.
A lot of black folks.
Yes. So I'm in the barbershop. He's making conversation. What do you do? What are you in town for? Told him I'm there to do stand up. So now he's a comedy fan, I guess. So he's asking me comedy questions.
Who are you doing the show with?
Theo.
At a club? Or
at a theater.
did you invite the guy to the theater?
Did not.
Why?
I don't think he would have came. If he,
That old lady and her friends
Maybe.
came in Vegas. Remember?
no.
When we were at... Oh, sorry. Finish your
Oh,
story.
but Theo invited them. That was a little different. It was different. They seemed receptive to it. This guy, I don't know, maybe I should have. I would have been polite, but I didn't. But the point of the story was he's naming all of his favorite comedians. They're all black comics.
Who'd he say?
Chris Rock, Chappelle, Kevin Hart, like, just the big ones. Cedric.
He's a big one.
He brings up Martin Lawrence specifically and says, I do not like Martin Lawrence.
Wow.
But he didn't really say why. He just
He
said
didn't
he wasn't funny.
elaborate?
Yeah, he just said, I don't think he's funny.
Dude, I still to this day think about... Because in Vegas, we were eating lunch at that Italian restaurant, and I forgot what it was. One of you was wearing like a sweater from like Ireland or something, and that lady came over and just like pretty much sat down with us and was like, "Are you guys Irish?" And we're like, "Oh no." And she's like, "Oh, I saw your sweater," and you're like, "Oh no, we just got back from there." And somehow we got on a conversation, and like in my mind, it's just so funny because she was like, "Oh yeah, I met and you were like, "Yeah, we're doing a show if you want to come to the show." And I just keep thinking in her mind like,
I literally don't remember this.
we
really.
were sitting there and there's like this lady.
Was it Theo there too, or just me and
It was
you?
me and you and Theo, and we
Okay.
were, and they were in. I remember this specifically because I think it was so funny what everything must have looked like in her mind, where she comes over, sees us eating Italian food, and then she's like, "Oh, we're in town to see Van Morrison," and then we're like, "Oh, cool," and they're like, "Yeah, well, we're doing a show," or I think maybe Theo was like, "Yeah, we're doing a show here at the hotel." And she was like, "Oh, okay, cool." One of you guys was like, "Oh, if you guys want to come, we can put you on the guest list." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that would be awesome," because she was nice and we were nice. And so, but then like, if you're like a 65-year-old woman, like normal, totally normal, and then she probably left there and like before had no idea who Theo was, but now she's like walking around the hotel and his face is on fucking everything on like the cards you're playing with, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then she comes to that show, and in her mind, she probably thought it was going to be like a rinky-dink comedy club. In the hotel.
Oh, it was like a giant theater.
Yeah, it's like a giant theater packed with all these people who like Theo comes out and the fucking place explodes. But because she texted you and she was like, "Thank you so much, like that was so fun." But in her mind, she was probably like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because she probably like saw me. She's like, "Yeah, that guy was just."
She thought it was going to be like a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And it was no big deal. Like, yeah, do you want to come to the hotel entertainment that they probably give away to the people who gamble?
I think in her mind, she thought it was such a small thing. She's like, "It'll be fun. We'll go to a comedy show." And then she goes and it's like this big thing. But I think she probably like saw me and was like, "He's like just, I don't know about him." And then she sees you and he's like, "And he was just disgusting." And he's like, and
on stage.
Yeah,
even.
yeah. And he's like, "And the last guy, he's just weird." Like, dude, in her mind, she has no idea. I don't know. It's very funny that I kept thinking about like in her mind how small it was. And then once she went to the show, she was like, "Oh, I can't believe I went and just sat down at their table to talk about Ireland with them without like any second
Do you
thought."
remember if that was the first time we did the show, the first time we went, or the second time? Because we did that show twice, right?
I don't. No, it was the second time because
Second time, I remember not being as good as the first time.
well,
Like,
there was
significantly
it was
worse.
2 nights.
It was 2 nights the second time.
Yeah.
So we did one night the first time, and then 2 nights the second time.
And so it was fine. It was good. Like it was the
I
first
remember
time.
one of the shows being kind of bad
Yeah.
on the second.
I remember for some
trip.
reason one of the shows felt like rushed or like something was like,
Rough about it.
I don't know, rough, but it was
For me,
like
my
not.
set.
I don't even know about the comedy, but there was something about it that wasn't as smooth. Because I remember like Theo like almost like running to the stage, and like seemingly something else is going on.
Interesting. I remember getting a tweet after our second week in there, basically saying like, "Ari, you suck," or something like that.
What they say about me?
That you were
Didn't
not
even-
in the
didn't
tweet.
even remember.
You didn't make the cut.
Oh, dude.
There was a video. I just noticed it yesterday. So when we were at La Jolla Comedy Store, it was me, Brittany Schmidt, and Theo, and we're just in the green room chilling. And Theo's doing like a story, and she's like, "Hey, you two." He's like, "Hey, you two should get married." And we're all friends, and she's married to a guy. And I was like, "I'm down. She's gonna have to divorce her husband." And she's like, "I'm not doing that." And he goes, "Why?" And that was it. It was just a dumb, literally 14-second Instagram
And her
story.
husband was like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
No.
Oh.
So he posted on a story. Never thought about it ever again. I see a title on YouTube. Theo Von tries to set up Ari Mannis and he gets rejected. And it's that story that someone ripped off a story and put it on YouTube. It had like 180,000 views on YouTube. And all of the comments are just morons going, oh wow, she rejected him so hard. She's not hot and she's not fun, and just like haters talking shit over this.
Comedy fans are the worst
They're
people
the worst
in the world,
people.
dude.
They're
If your
obnoxious.
podcast gets big, people listen to it just because they hate you. And like all your fans, you have a huge fan base. Not even saying Theo specifically. People actually like him, but it's like a lot of other podcasts, people only listen to the podcast and then they just run to Reddit to be like, these guys are so fucking gay.
You're
Like,
talking about the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. It's-
not just them, but them.
Oh yeah, and like Opie and Anthony.
Everybody,
all these subreddits.
Opie and Anthony
yeah.
especially. They're like, yeah,
It's
these
just
guys are fucking awful. We
haters.
hate, and they're like, we hate them, and then like, we listen every fucking day.
Yeah, it doesn't
that's all
make
we
any
listen to.
sense.
It's fucking crazy.
And I also find that everyone tries to be funny all the time.
Yeah,
Including the comments, Instagram messages, everything. It's all these people like
some people.
sending me
It's
shitty
very very
jokes.
rare, but some people are very funny.
yeah. Sometimes
It's very rare, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I see that on the internet all the time.
But
Where I'm
it's
like, oh, that
mostly-
guy's way funnier than any comedian.
It's mostly just people sending annoying messages of them trying to be funny, and I'm just like, LOL.
Yeah,
No thanks. I
Laugh
feel like feel like I'm just talking shit when I shouldn't be.
No, dude.
Are there any
Let's
more
go
good
know what's going
questions?
on. Not really. Honestly, one of them just says, huh? Literally, this one just says, huh? Look at that. All it says is H-U-H. Like this person just doesn't understand. This person says, Mama, I need some milk. That's what we were talking about before the podcast.
Yeah, see,
It's
like, that's
if you,
wait, no, go ahead.
what's Mama, I need some milk?
No, it's someone trying to be funny.
Yeah, where it's
Yeah.
just like, you'll send out this thing, be like, oh, questions for the podcast, and people will just send in this thing and be like, you're gay. Like just, that's like the general feeling of it.
Yeah. Is there anything in your life you need help with while you're here?
Dude, I don't know. I need like
Therapy.
$50,000. I don't
Can't
know,
help
dude.
you
Shit's
there.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It was fine because I wasn't living here. And it was like, it was not living here was good until it opened up here and I saw all my friends having fun and I was like, oh fuck.
Who's having fun? That's your friend.
Just like whenever you see people back like doing shows and like shit like that and here and whatever else.
Mo Mandel said the same thing. He doesn't like being in Portland.
Yeah. Well, him especially because that's what I've told people there. It's like in LA and everywhere else, Mo is a very like, he's funny, but it's like he also is like not really like offending anybody, but like just it's
In Portland, he offends people?
they go crazy. It's
Really?
like, and it's like,
what has happened? You mean other comics don't like him?
no. All the comics like, but like all the comics like because they like to see the crowd be like, what the hell? Like in
He doesn't
in-
do well, you're saying?
he does good. Like but it's like in Portland, people look at him like he's fucking Brian Holtzman. It's wild.
So that means they would look the same about me.
Yeah. Well, you look like Brian Holtzman.
But my comedy, if I was in Portland. it's
Well, they
just
did it
too
last
edgy.
night. They looked at you like you were a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't know what happened. I was like, you went up there and immediately to a room of fully vaccinated people said that Hillary Clinton invented COVID-19 with no backstory, no anything. You see that shit all the time where you're like, I don't know what that was, like why that an interaction with that girl didn't go good. I was like, because you went up there and acted like a serial killer to her.
Wait, which?
I don't know. Name it.
Yeah, I guess handicapped or something.
I think
never
you're
see it coming.
Full blown autistic.
Yeah, I think that must be
I
it.
think that's why you got to send the come in to fucking 23. What if it came back and it just said 100% autistic?
I was hoping for something like that.
Just like a reason why.
It said that I'm going to be bald by 35.
Really?
Something like that.
I didn't read enough into it. My sister got it
There's
done.
health ones.
My sister got it done and it just sent me this shit.
Oh, you should do your own.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I want to.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I want to look into the family tree one.
They all have a family tree built in now too. Yeah, but now I'm getting weird messages from like third cousins I've never heard of.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna-
like yours is probably missing a few years too.
A few cousins.
Well, a few, probably in the 30s. Not a lot of. Kind of missing a generation there.
Oh, Jews, you're saying?
Yeah,
Holocaust?
yeah. There's kind of a cutoff there, and then it
Could be.
So it might have lost track.
I'm getting these weird, distant
Dude, sorry, I'm not.
relatives.
Dude, my sister got a message from somebody saying that my uncle is her dad. Not saying my uncle's my sister's dad. This lady being like, yeah, this thing came up and this guy's my dad. My uncle, who's like not a great guy. He's like a drug addict. But she's like, yeah, this guy's my dad and I want to meet everybody basically. And my sister was like, I don't know if you should do that.
I ignore them for the same reason. People are trying to meet me from.
Well, you should meet him.
Nah,
It's
it's like
different-
distant relatives
Why not?
that I have no interest in meeting. Imagine
Why don't
if
you have him do
it's just a stranger at that point. If it's a third cousin, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but still
I don't
you
know
got
who
some
they
shit
are.
going on.
I don't know who their parents are. I don't know who their aunt and uncle is.
But you're
Like,
an
I don't-
interesting guy. Not to me, but
Yeah, but I don't
but
want
like to people who
But they're
outside of
not,
whatever.
and I don't want to meet them.
Yeah, well, you should meet him. I'll meet him. What do I give a fuck?
That'd be funny if you went and pretended to be Ari.
Yeah.
Your cousin Ari. You could. There's no
Dude,
picture
you
of
know
me
what
on
I
there.
think about is you saw whenever they did the Texas abortion thing where they were like, people were posting all this shit online, like, if you need to travel to Arizona or this or here, if you need to come here to get an abortion, like my house is always open to anybody who needs to come get an abortion. Like I saw a lot of people like million retweets on this thing, and I thought it would be so funny to like be like, oh yeah, like me and Kelly be like, oh yeah, we do, and then just go be like the worst house guests ever, and just like travel around the country, just like using the friendliness of strangers to fucking have a great vacation.
If
Like,
you vlogged that,
yeah, dude,
it'd
if
be
you just
so
like
good.
eat all their food and like shit in the
and
toilet
she's
and
just
don't
there, and
flush.
she's like, yeah, I'm getting an abortion.
yeah, and she's
And
like,
then-
got the abortion today, just
Yeah.
lying the entire time.
Oh, please
can't
do
stop
that.
thinking about that,
Please
dude.
do that. I really wanted to go to where'd they say the COVID was invented?
Wuhan.
I really
Yeah, you
wanted
tried to get me to go
Wuhan.
to. You were like, let's
Yeah.
go to Wuhan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
really
were in
wanted
Vegas
to
the
go.
week after Kobe Bryant. You're like, let's go in a helicopter and vlog it. I was like, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
They get views.
Yeah, but
So, what about this? I have a video. This would get people to hate me. It's called, did I tell you this? It's called Epic Litter Time,
where you just go litter.
where you get like cans of gasoline, aerosol spray, maybe a bunch of those rings that turtles get stuck in. Then you rent a boat, like a big yacht, and you go out in the ocean and just start dumping it and filming yourself with like rock music playing. It's called Epic Litter Time.
That would be very funny. You should do that. Don't involve me in it, but you should.
No,
That would be very funny.
What if no? But
No.
you'd have to be a crew. I don't want to do it by myself. I want it to be like a crew of shitheads.
Yeah, get all these fucking people who message you and want to work at the Comedy Store. Tell them that's how you do it. You come dump a bunch of shit in the ocean with me.
And I won't be in it. Just
No,
have them
you make
do
them
it.
do it. That's what you should do. You should start
will
having
you
like a
do
whack
it?
pack.
Will you do it with me?
No.
If- let me finish. So we do it. We put out this video. Probably would get death threats from it. It'd be
Yeah.
so awful. Then we put out a second video that it's all fake. Like the gasoline was actually just like food coloring and water. The rings, there was a net underneath, and we lifted them all out after.
And we picked
Yeah.
up extra trash.
Yeah, things like that. So we have a follow-up video that shows it's all fake.
Like a behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But that's a lot of work to have the net.
It's not that much work. You get a net.
Where are you going to get a boat?
For the shot. Go rent a boat for a few $100.
We should just rent a boat.
Amir K has a boat. We could borrow his.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he live on it?
No, it's a fishing boat.
That's pretty cool. We should just get a boat and just chill. Ever thought about
We
that?
can't afford to do that. Oh, you mean just for a day?
Yeah.
I wanted to do it for my birthday, but then it was too busy.
I want to go deep sea fishing soon.
You could do that. You could buy them on. You can go on Groupon. There's probably
Yeah.
deep sea fishing excursions on Groupon.
Do people rent the podcast studio from Groupon?
No, but we're on there.
I'm going to rent it. On Groupon. I'm gonna,
Well, the
I'm
thing
gonna
is,
go
I
cheap.
made it the same price as our normal price.
Yeah. That's
So
smart.
people go on there and yeah.
Damn. I hate to cut you off, but my parking is about to be up.
Oh, you parked on the meter?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to plug?
No. Fat Jocks podcast. It's a sports podcast for people who say the R word. Retard.
Seriously?
No, it's
Is that
just
your thing?
No, it's just a sports podcast, but it's very candid. We talk a lot of shit. It's fun. It's a very good podcast.
The only thing I follow on sports is Padres, Trevor Bauer, and Shohei Ohtani.
Trevor Bauer died.
Basically, he's basically the guy who killed.
Yeah, he's Brian Laundrie.
yeah, he's
They're probably
basically
chilling
Brian
together
Laundrie,
right now,
yeah.
dude. He's probably that's a
Yeah.
great place that they would never look. It's Trevor Bauer's house, and he probably has him over.
Trevor Bauer's.
Do you have anything to plug?
Go to arimannis.com for dates.
Yeah.
My stand-up dates.
Yeah, I got shows coming up too in like Palm Springs and fucking like Central, like
Coming back to San Diego to headline.
San Luis Obispo. If you live up there and you want to know, just fucking DM me.
San Luis Obispo.
You're
Yeah.
headlining what? The store?
No, Mavericks.
Oh, that's supposed to be popping, right?
I did it once and it was one of the worst shows I ever did, but I heard it got better.
What is wrong with you?
That's just the truth. I did it so Abby was headlining it maybe 3 weeks ago.
And they were nice enough to invite you back, and now this is what you do?
No. I had already been booked to headline.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing La Jolla that weekend. So I said, oh, I'll go down a day early and feature for Abby. Let me tell you, I bombed so hard, and then Abby went up after me and bombed so hard, and he had to do 35 minutes.
That's the worst is whenever you're bombing it. And you're bombing 1 minute in and you know you have 59 minutes left.
I had to do 12 or 15, and it was the hardest I've bombed in years.
Do you think about that whenever you come out and you're bombing immediately and you think like
last night?
It wasn't even bad last night. It was fine. It was fun. I had a great time.
That's because you had a good set. So it's easy for you to have a good.
I had a just okay set.
It was pretty good.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Tell the world. Everybody.
You cold open. Remember that too.
Oh, yeah.
So my set should have, if anything, been better than your set. Not worse than your set.
Maybe.
Since you cold open.
But do you think about that? Like when you're doing a long set and you start bombing immediately and you're like, oh, fuck, there's 59 minutes left of this shit right now.
Luckily.
Or like there's 29 minutes left of this shit right now.
I think the longest ever.
I think of that all the time.
I've never had a headlining set where I bombed really hard.
I have.
I think I'd get off early.
Yeah, but at a certain point when I'm bombing, I kind of like to torture people.
One time I went to a show that I was supposed to headline, and I got in, and I knew it was so bad that I said to him, I'm doing 5 minutes right off bet.
Did you get the same pay?
No, I said, you don't have to pay me. I'm not doing 30 minutes here. It was awful. It was a bar show. The TVs were still on.
Oh, yeah.
There was 3 people in the back watching TV. That was it. It was horrible.
See, yeah, I just go nuts and fucking burn the place down on stage.
That's your parking.
That's my parking alarm, dude.
Okay, let's wrap it.
Thank you. This was very
fun. See you guys next week. God bless.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
You're listening to Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Mannis.
There we have it. Another episode of Unlicensed Therapy with me, your host, Ari Mannis. You made it to the end. You're still here. Are you still here at the very end of a episode with an unknown guest? You're a real fan. You're up there as far as a fan of the show. So leave a voicemail. Become a member on YouTube. Buy a shirt. I don't know. You could figure out a way to make my day feel a little bit better. I hope your day is feeling good. I hope you're having a great day, week, year, life. I hope your life is great. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope to see you again real soon.